Hiya 4. I'm going to have a go at editing this piece of work with you this week. So, we're going to have a little read through because I have made quite a few errors and I was wondering if you could help me to edit mine. So I'm going to read each sentence and we're going to have a look at it and see if there's anything that we need to change. So first of all, there should be something glaringly obvious in that first sentence that needs to be changed. We've got, this biography is about Tim Peake. Now I'm hoping that straight away you should know that this should be capital letters. So it's a very easy mistake to make. I've just crossed it out and rewritten it in pencil. Now, he is a famous British astronaut who worked on the International Space Station, or the ISS. Now, I know, because I know how to spell it, that astronaut here has been spelled incorrectly. So I'm going to cross it out. If you need to look in a dictionary, then obviously you can do that. If there are any words that you come across that you think, oh, I'm not sure how to spell that, then this is your opportunity to check and make sure you've spelled it correctly. Tim was famous for being the first British astronaut to do a spacewalk. That sentence is absolutely fine. He is also well known for taking part in activities whilst in space. Now, that sentence is great, there's nothing wrong with it. However, I think I want to put a little bit more emphasis on the word activities. So I think I'm going to put some extra adjectives in there, just to kind of give the impression that Tim Peake has done a lot more than someone who would normally be in space. So, he's also well known for taking part in many interesting activities whilst in space. Now I could even add in some descriptive language here. It could be as simple as deep, dark space. So now I've got an expanded noun phrase in there. Remember that editing is not just about checking for spelling and punctuation. It is also really important that you look for things that you can add in to make your writing so much better than it already is. That's the whole point of us doing this. So that first paragraph now reads so much better. It's got a little bit more information in there. Not too much, but enough. So let's move on to the next paragraph. Tim Peake was born on 7th April 1972 in Chichester, West Sussex in England. I'm hoping that straight away you will be able to see that I haven't put a capital letter for Chichester. So you always need to have capital letters when there is a place. So Chichester, West Sussex has to have also a capital letter, and so does the word England. So Tim Peake was born on the 7th of April 1972 in Chichester, West Sussex in England. When he was young, his father took him to many air shows around where he lived. Now, if you were in the classroom, I would be asking you what you think needs to go in that sentence. I'm hoping that you would be able to tell me that there should be a comma after when he was young. His father took him to many air shows around where he lived. This meant that he was able to see a variety of planes and aircraft, and by the time he was 13 he joined military school where he was able to learn the ways of the army. That's a very long sentence, so if you can have a think about what I could do to change that sentence, that would be great. So we've got a very, very long sentence. I wonder if anyone has any ideas. I know I've got one. I think I will just get rid of this and here. So this meant that he was able to see a variety of planes and aircraft, and then we'll do a capital B. By the time he was 13, he joined military school where he was able to learn the ways of the army. Straight away I know again, by the time he was 13, should have a comma. So we can straight away see that we have change this sentence to make sure that it is better. Now, one other thing I will say is that in this paragraph, I have used the word he 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. That's a lot of times in one sentence. So instead of he, we could maybe use his name once or twice. You might have it the opposite way around. You might have written your person's name in every single sentence. So imagine I'd written Tim Peake was born on the 7th of April 1972. When Tim Peake was young, this meant that Tim Peake was able to, by the time Tim Peake was 13, okay? You wouldn't want to have that every single time. So I'm going to change some of the he's to Tim's. This one's okay. When he was young, his father took him to many air shows around where he lived. This meant that Tim was able to see a variety of planes and aircraft. By the time he was 13, he joined military school where Tim was able to learn the ways of the army. So now I've got about 4 or 5 he's and 3 Tims, which is much better. I hope that was helpful. You can now do this with your piece of writing. I really want you to focus on looking on how you can improve things, looking at where you need to add in words. It's quite simple to just do it like this. It might be that you need to change the he's and the Tims a little bit. You might need to add in some commas. All of these things are important, everything that we have talked about over the last couple of days for your work. I hope this has helped, and I will speak to you soon.